In our course, we'll be working with the tools that are included in the Anaconda distribution of Python. Anaconda includes the core of Python, but it also adds some nice extras. You can use the Spider Integrated Development Environment, or IDE, for writing, debugging, and publishing code. Anaconda offers a powerful command line interpreter that's called IPython for testing out little bits of code. And IPython's offspring, called Jupyter Notebooks, are available through a server that's included with the Anaconda installation. The other nice thing about Anaconda is that it includes all of the key data analytics libraries and packages designed for big data number crunching, for science and engineering, for machine learning, and many other applications. So Anaconda provides a set of relatively easy to use tools for maintaining, updating, and expanding your Python installation. This is kind of a big deal because as you are trying to use multiple add-ins to Python, it's important that they all remain in sync in terms of versions. So a package manager will monitor which packages you have installed. And when you install a new package, it will check and make sure that you've got all of the other packages that the new package depends on, and make sure that you've got the necessary version of them installed as well. If you don't, it will go and fetch those and install them for you. So those functions are provided by what we'll learn is called a package manager. There are a couple of package managers that come with Anaconda, which we'll learn about soon enough. So I'm going to guide you through the installation of Anaconda in the following. First, you'll want to visit anaconda.com, which is where I am here. You might be wondering, so who's who? Am I installing Anaconda or Python? Well, Python is a free open source project that's been maintained over decades by thousands of volunteers. Their home base on the web is at python.org. And you can download a bare bones installation of Python from there, along with a few nice tools for development. Anaconda, on the other hand, is a commercial operation, but they provide free versions of their products to individuals and some more advanced enterprise options if you've got a big company that you're trying to manage. The commercial options are available for a fee, but we won't need anything beyond the free individual open source tool. So on the homepage at anaconda.com, let's hover over the products drop down menu, and you can see the first option there is the individual edition open source distribution. So go ahead and click on that, and you'll see we've changed to a page that includes an option. It describes what's available via Anaconda, but we can just click on download and it scrolls us down. So you notice that there are Windows, Mac, and Linux options. For Windows, your two options are 64-bit graphical installer and 32-bit graphical installer. Unless you've got a very old computer, you probably want the 64-bit installer. Notice that the size of this file, though, is pretty big. It's 0.5 GB. And as the installer is doing its business, it's going to use up more than 0.5 GB. So make sure that your computer has enough spare space to store the file and to let the installer run when it will need that extra space. Later on you can delete the installer, but in the meanwhile you might need to delete a few extra videos off your storage if you don't really need them. So I'm going to click on 64-bit graphic installer. And as we mentioned, this is a pretty big file, so I'll pause for a second while we download our 0.5 GB installer. And there we have it. the installer is completely downloaded, so I will click on it. And here we've got the Anaconda installer. I have very carefully read all of this material, so I think I will agree. I'm going to install it just for me on this computer. And I will accept the suggestion for the location. So in the users directory, I'm user 15085 on this machine, and it will create a new folder called Anaconda 3. Notice it's now asking for 2.7 gigabytes. So it's a little greedy. Let's install. I would like to add Anaconda 3 to my path environment, but as you see, you get this red warning message that says, you know what, maybe just use Anaconda. This add path option may complicate matters if you've already got a Python installed on your machine. So I'll unclick. We will use the recommended installation here and go with that. And there, that took a few minutes, but now we're completed. I'll go to the next step. The next question is, do I want to install PyCharm, which is a different integrated development environment for Python? I don't think I will do that at this point. You can always go and look it up later and maybe install it on top of Anaconda. I'll click Next. And so here I've got my Finish button, and the question is, do I want to watch the Anaconda Individual Edition tutorial and the Getting Started with Anaconda tutorial? And you can do that. I won't show that right here in the video, but let's just finish up. And there you see that on the web you've been taken back to Anaconda, and you can register for free. Anaconda is a pretty unobnoxious group. It would probably be a good idea to register just so that you can get email about updates for the Anaconda packages. So with that, let me hide this and see what we've got now down in the Windows button. We've got an Anaconda 3 folder that we can click on now. We've also got Anaconda PowerShell prompt so that we can have a command line access to Anaconda. Spider, as I mentioned, is an editor and integrated development environment tool. And there's also Anaconda Navigator for managing different pieces. There's an Anaconda prompt application here, and you can see over here that you can run as administrator. If you want to update your Anaconda installation, you need to run this prompt as administrator so that you have all of the authorities needed to change your system. I'm going to click on that, and you'll notice it's asking me, do I want to allow this app to make changes? If I were running it as administrator trying to update my Anaconda installation, I would, so I'd say yes. But here you see I've got a command line prompt with a base over here on the left. The base refers to the base Anaconda installation, and then I've got a prompt which shows me where I am currently located. So I'm in the System32 directory of the Windows directory. So there you can see I can access Anaconda. Let me try typing Python. It says I'm running Python 3.8.5, which is the latest stable release by the Python organization. And just to show you, I can say x equals 2, print x. So the Python installation seems to be working here. To quit out of Python, you type exit, open close paren, and return. And then to close out the command line prompt, type exit. So there, you're all set, ready to go. Everything looks good from the point of view of your installation, and we'll dig in more deeply in class and in future videos.